Hey guys, welcome back to Dede's Mediterranean Kitchen. Today I'm going to be making one of the most famous desserts in the Mediterranean called baklava. It's pronounced also as baklava. So there's a lot of different versions of this. It comes from Turkey, it comes from Greece, it comes from Lebanon, it comes from all over the Mediterranean. A lot of different countries do it a little bit differently. I'm going to show you the basic version and how to make it, and if you want to tweak it, you want to fill it with something else, you can go ahead and do that. Now you can get this recipe and all of my other recipes at www.DedeMed.com. Now the basic for baklava is phyllo dough and butter. That's the pastry that you're going to need. The filling, if you want to use chocolate, you can use chocolate. If you want to use pecans, macadamia nuts, pine nuts, walnuts, almonds, pistachios, anything you want, you can fill it with. I'm going to be making one version with pecans and one version with walnuts. And now it also comes in a lot of different shapes and sizes. Some people roll them up into little fingers, some people cut them into squares, some people cut them into diamonds. A lot of different ways. You can just experiment with it. Now what you're going to want to start off with is I have about 1.5 cups of ground pecans and 1.5 cups of ground walnuts. Now you can just buy the pecans fresh and just put them in the food processor until they're very fine. Now to these I'm going to add the same thing. The seasonings are pretty much the same. It's an 1/8 cup of sugar, an 1/8 teaspoon of cloves, an 1/8 teaspoon of nutmeg, and an 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon. I'm just going to add this to both of them. And just mix them up really well. Now I know it's not a lot of sugar, but you're going, after the baklava is done cooking, you are going to pretty much drown it in some Mediterranean simple syrup that has rose water and orange blossom water. It's a great addition to the baklava. Just mix this one up really quick. And then what you're going to need is phyllo dough. Now phyllo dough you can buy at a lot of the grocery stores. A lot of them carry it. It shouldn't be that hard to find. So all these ingredients are pretty easy to find. The butter that you want to use is sweet cream butter. If you can't find it, you can just use your regular butter. You want to melt it in a pot, in a little pan, until it's melted. A good butter that I like to use is Lurpak. It's a very good flavor. It's very creamy, and it goes really well with the baklava. And you also want to get the simple syrup. That's one of my recipes on my website. Get that, make it ahead of time before you start the baklava. Now I have these two mixed. I'm going to put them on the side. And I'm going to get the phyllo dough. Now phyllo dough usually comes wrapped in plastic, and what you're going to want to do, you want to work with it pretty fast so that it does not dry out, because it will dry out in about 10 to 15 minutes after you open the package. So either one, you want to work with it fast or put away what you're not going to be using. Now I'm going to layer the baklava and cut them into squares. I'm going to lay it into a little pan, and I want to cut the baklava so that it fits in the pan. Right there. I think I'm going to actually keep it a double layer because I'm going to be making 2 of these pans. So I'm just going to cut it like that. At the bottom of the size, like that. See, I'm just marking it there. And it's really easy to cut. Make sure you do use a serrated knife though, just like that. And then I'm going to cut this in half. Now when I do the bottom layer, I want to use 10 phyllos for the bottom. And then the layers in between, you can add as many layers as you want to the baklava. In regards to the nuts, you can alternate between phyllo nut, phyllo nut, phyllo nut, as many as you want. I'm going to do 2 layers. So I'm going to put this on the side. Preferably put it in plastic right away so it doesn't dry out. here we go. I have the phyllo dough ready. There's my pan. Actually, I'm going to put this on the side so you guys can see better. And here's my butter. You want to butter each layer. You need a brush, a pastry brush. You want to put a little bit of butter on it, and then just go down like you're painting. Just simply brush it. You don't want globs of butter all over it, but you want to simply brush it. You also want to brush your pan before you put the phyllo dough in it. So just like that. Just brush the pan around. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And after we layer the baklava, we're going to cook it for about 30 to 45 minutes, depending on your oven, until the baklava is a